All right. We are back in beautiful Belmont, New Jersey. I'm ready for spring to happen, but we are here with a very special guest, someone that I usually see in the Manasquan office. I have Shane from Zoom Drain. How are you today?
Doing well, Tom. How are you?
Good. So Zoom Drain. What made you decide that you want to be a franchisee of Zoom Drain? Tell kind of the backstory of who you are, what you do, how you got to this. I know you have some partners in it, so kind of just let everybody know how you got started.
Absolutely. So Zoom Drain is a drain and sewer company in the plumbing industry, and I had been looking for years on trying to start a business.
So you're like an entrepreneur at heart,
I am.
So again, I could tell from your hair and your age, and I know your age. So you didn't just come out of college. So you come out. So go back to so you start in corporate America. You start doing what did you do prior, or what are you doing that you wanted to end up getting into this? How did we get here?
Okay, so I started as a EMT back in the day. And did that for several years and decided I wanted something different. So I joined the military. Military reservist. I've been doing that for 19 years.
Wow.
And
they took you at 13, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. And I was trying to find something else. I had done some government contracting work and decided I enjoyed it, but I wanted to do something for myself and our family and be able to, be rewarded for the hard work that I do, and that was what I was always searching for, and part of that search was looking for a business that I could start up, and I had been looking to start something on my own, for franchises. I had gotten connected with a franchise broker, and we had gone through several different franchises that were in the local area. I knew I wanted something kind of in our backyard, so I could run it and still do other things as necessary. So with all of that, we kept coming back to the Zoom Drain franchise. And I say we, so it was me, my husband, and our business partner, Suzanne, and the three of us.
How'd you get tied in with Suzanne?
So I used to work for Suzanne when I was in high school. She owned a sporting goods store, and I worked there. We used to do cheerleading events, so we'd sell sneakers on the bleachers and cheerleading uniforms. We did embroidery and screen printing, the whole 9 yards. So with all of that, I had stayed in touch with Suzanne over the years, and she's become part of our family, and we decided that the three of us wanted to start a business.
Okay.
So we found Zoom Drain, and we went out to the Philadelphia location where we had a discovery day and loved everything that they had provided. They had the franchise system, they had all the manuals, they had the model that worked, and it was proven. They were a younger franchise, and they were growing. I think we were the 25th franchise in their system. They're over 65 now.
Wow. And you've been in the system about 3 years?
About 3 years, yeah.
Wow, that's good growth for them.
Absolutely.
So now you go through Discovery Day, you sign up, and now you say, all right, well, we're now Zoom Drain. You're not a plumber, correct?
I am not a plumber, no.
Okay. Is Rob a plumber?
He is not.
And Suzanne?
Absolutely not.
No, she's still selling sneakers on the side. So, all right. So now, but that's okay. According to Zoom Drain, that's cool. You're running the business. And again, in a sense, it's almost better when you don't have that skill set, because then you can't get pulled into the someone's out today. You're going to be the plumber today.
Absolutely. So it's a double-edged sword. The not being able to hop in the truck to do some of the plumbing stuff is a challenge.
Yep.
But we've been able to work with local plumbers, and some have supported us as we've gone through our journey. And we've actually partnered with another plumber, and she's able to support us with all of our plumbing needs. And she's actually our bona fide rep.
That's great. So now, 3 years in, what are some of the things that are great about it, and what are some of the things that you still need some assistance and guidance with? And how is the marketing? How is the the communication? How's the customer service? When I think about plumbing and I think about your world, I think everybody needs a good plumber. I feel like that's just a skill set. It's just, if you have a good electrician, good plumber, and good handyman, I feel like you can get through a lot of home repairs, office repairs with those key guys.
Absolutely.
And gals.
Absolutely. So it's been great. But it's a business, so there's been ups and downs, and there's been challenges throughout the way. From
This gray hair doesn't come from.
Yeah, I'm only 25. I promise you. So with some of those challenges, they've all been learning experiences. So our first lease that we got in was was pretty favorable for the landlord. Some things that we just didn't realize when we got into it. Not a big deal, but our next lease, we were able to negotiate some different terms that protected both the company as well as ourselves in the transaction. So some of that.
What lease are you on now?
What lease am I on now?
Is this the third or the second?
Second lease.
So that landlord's pretty cool, though.
So far, yeah.
Cool.
And so like things like that, you just don't know until you've experienced it and have gone through it.
Mm-hmm.
A big positive for us is we do great work, and we love our customers, and our customers love us. That's awesome. Like, that's very rewarding for the technicians.
Mm-hmm.
It's very rewarding for us as business owners to see the hard work being appreciated, and you can see that. People comment on Google. People call us. People send us text messages and say, "Your technician did phenomenal work."
Your reviews on Google are awesome.
Yeah, we're killing it. We're killing it. It's great, and it's a direct reflection of the good work that our technicians are doing every day.
Yep, and I think that the more people that get to know you, it's a better thing. Like, the more people that know you, the more people that know to come to you directly. Again, you're fighting in a world of very crowdedness online, on Google, on the social medias. You're fighting in a very competitive space. And again, I think it's a world that's changed, I would say, probably in the last 10 or so years. It was old school plumbers were just plumbers. They weren't social media experts. They weren't a 5-star Google review. But I think what happened is, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, private equity started investing in home services.
Absolutely. Private equity's invested in several industries, and in the home service business industry, what that's done is it's made plumbing companies have to operate as a plumbing company and a business together.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just about doing the plumbing work. It's about all the back office stuff. It's about making sure that you're responding to customers timely, and they know the appointment's coming, and making sure that you are, providing written estimates, and things are accessible via portals and emails. And
it's a totally different world than what it was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, guys just showed up, and when they got there, they hand wrote paper estimates. They didn't have CRMs and a text message, like a chirp afterwards that said, "How did we do? Can you leave us a 5-star?" Like, the world has totally changed.
And if you don't adapt to those changes, you get dropped off the map.
Totally.
And the only way to stay on that map is from a digital perspective, and through local relationships with your customers and where your customers spend their money at other businesses.
Yep. I think community's huge.
Absolutely.
I think community is huge. And again, we got into community just because it just happened. Like, for Wingman, like, we're more on we do a lot of we help a lot of customers with advertising. We do our own advertising, but a lot of our long-term value, not the one and dones, not the, "Hey, can you print me up some lawn signs?" or "How fast can you get a landing page up?" Like, those, to me, those are transactions. We need transactions. Keeps the cash flow going.
Absolutely.
But I think relationships is where we do better. When a company comes in and says to us, "Look, we need help with these things," and we can be more like their CMO versus the web hosting company or the vendor that does social media, we do better, and the client does better, and they're happier. And there's a direct correlation. If we look at my customer base of people that have multiple services with us and value the relationship versus the transactional guys. And again, right now, you want everybody. You're 3 years in business. There's not a customer you don't want. But there have been some customers along the way where we said, if we lose them, we lose them. I never want to lose a customer, and I always want to give them our utmost best service that we can give them. But there are times when they don't treat the relationship the same way. And it goes back to, friends, relationships you've been in with, with partners. If somebody doesn't treat you right, you don't want to stay.
Right. And we feel the same way with our customers. We want to have a good relationship. We want them to call us when there's a challenge or an issue with their plumbing systems, anything we can help. We want to be able to refer them to other contractors
Other guys that you know are vetted guys.
that we know are vetted. Absolutely.
And again, but the day you refer, you got to be ready, because not everybody does the same thing that you do.
Right.
You know, I had a guy that I thought, guy always asked me for leads, always asked me, oh, anybody that needs my services? I sent him a lead, a good lead. The guy writes me back the next day. He goes, Tom, I thought your guy was good. I said, what are you talking about? He goes, he never even got back to me. And I was like, and it was an urgent. It was not a one that you could deal with in 2 days. And
Right.
I texted the guy. He's like, I was working till whatever, 7 o'clock. I go, you should have just sent the guy a text, or texted me and said, hey, look, can you call your buddy and tell him I'm never going to be able to get there tonight? Call somebody else. But like that little communication gap ruins it, and could ruin it for everybody.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we do have a pretty big referral network. We refer with other contractors, we refer with other plumbers, and we respect the boundaries that we've set in place. Especially plumbers, some of them could be competition.
Yeah.
But when they call us to do the drain work, we come in and we do the drain work, and then we provide them a report of, hey, we did this drain work, and oh, by the way, there's some plumbing stuff that needs to be addressed. And there are some times that the other plumbers will say, hey, we're too busy. Can you guys handle it? Or they'll say, okay, we'll get out there and we'll take care of it.
Thanks for.
And thank you.
Yeah, that's, I think, the key.
So, and we're honest with the process. We communicate with the process, and that way everybody's on the same page.
Sure, that's definitely important. And so when you look at how your growth has happened, has it been like, again, competing against private equity has got to be a little bit difficult, especially because there's a lot of local private equity on this Jersey Shore.
Absolutely. And it's difficult on the digital space, because the private equities have the capital to spend a lot of money on leads, sometimes 5, 6, 7, 8 times what we're able to spend on a digital lead. And they have a different model. They're offering multiple services under one umbrella, so that gives them the ability to, if it didn't work for plumbing, maybe it'll work for electrical or HVAC, that lead. So they can kind of spread out that cost across multiple divisions within them. For us, that competition, it doesn't make it feasible to spend marketing dollars on the digital piece as heavily. So we've been spending a lot of time in the community. We've been spending a lot of time with our daughter. She's 6 years old, goes to Ocean Road School. We've been spending a lot of time doing things that support her and her school, and Zoom Rain is making donations and they're showing up for things. Those types of activities are the local community is recognizing that, hey, we're your local plumbers.
But that's great, because I think that is so good. Like when you start getting into those community events, like private equity, they don't really want to. They want to eat. They want to just do their ads and run on the ad networks. Yes. But like when you can get into that community, I think there's more reach there.
I agree.
And I think there's longer retention. And again, I think in your world, like you and I have talked about many times, it's not just the cost per acquisition. To me, it's the lifetime value of the customer.
I agree.
Again, at the end of the day, if you go to sell your business one day, it's based on the contracts. It's based on the recurring revenue. Again, a new plumber comes in, a new guy comes into Wingman. Wingman's going to lose 20% of its business because I want to deal with Tom. And again, I built a business to be great at customer service and be great at support, but at the same time, I've limited myself because there are people that only want to deal with Tom. You could ask Andrew. Like there are people that are like, I'll wait for Tom. I remember one time some guy called the office. It was like 3 o'clock, and they're like, Tom's in a meeting, but can I help you, or can I get you to somebody else? And they go, and he goes, no. When Tom gets out of the meeting, she goes, well, he's got a couple, and he's not going to be till after 6. He goes, I'll wait till 6. But on the other side, it's like the job could have been fixed, done, whatever the issue was could have been solved.
Right.
But now at 6 o'clock, like my wife's waiting for me to get home, and like I'm still got to make that one more call to this guy. So like on the other side of that is, I think as you build that community and get your team involved and get everybody involved, then it becomes you're important, but you're not like, I have to wait to talk to Shane. And Yeah, I think one good thing is that you're not a plumber, because then they don't have to wait to talk to Shane. There's a plumber that knows a little bit more than you do.
Absolutely.
But again, you're building a team, and you're the coach, and you're the director. You're telling people what to do versus that you're sitting under the drain, trying to figure out where the leak is coming from.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I'll tell you,
You look too clean cut to be under a drain, man. I don't even think you could.
I am guilty though of waiting for you to get out of a meeting so I can pop in and talk to you when I probably should have just talked to somebody on your team. So definitely guilty of that.
The beautiful thing is we've trained a team of people that are very intelligent, and and again, I think at this point we have self-selection, right? The people that don't want to be good to the customer and don't want to do the right thing and don't want to put a positive foot forward, they kind of leave because they're not built for us. Like, I think you see everybody else. Last night we had a design that was due this morning, and Jillian texted me 8 o'clock, and she's like, "I'm going to jump on now. Let me just finish it. I'm going to text you the designs." Like, again, I have a team of people that are just willing to make it work, make the customer happy. So like that, to me, you can't buy that. Like either you have the same core values or you don't. And like even in the interview process going forward, I am going to tell our team to think about, like, if you're not obsessed with making the customer happy, like you're not going to be happy here.
Right.
You're going to look at everybody else like they're weird.
So you have a good point there with you just said that in your interview process going forward. So you're evolving as you're learning these things, which
absolutely every day,
which is awesome. And we're doing the same thing.
You have to learn every day. If you don't learn every day and you think you know everything, you're on your way down, because the world is changing so fast. You have to, like, you got the AIs to think about. You got private equity and the Google searches. There's so many different places. Like right now, you guys could probably make inroads at a corporate level with AI search that the private equities aren't there on, because they're still spending on their pay-per-clicks. Like, you guys could probably be early adapters into AI search, and AI is now, there's a wait list, we're already on it for advertising on the AIs. So like, that's some place where like you guys could probably take an early lead to private equity. As private equity is looking at their spreadsheet, the pencil pushers are looking at their spreadsheet and going, what was the cost per lead on Google today? Whereas you could probably swing in and do some damage early over there. So I think that between like that community game and like some being a market leader in different areas of new tech, I think you guys can do pretty well on something like that.
Absolutely, and we're constantly flexing to the needs of the market. Mm-hmm. And our goal is to have long-term customers, provide great work, and just keep growing that way.
That's the name of the game.
Yeah.
And again, it's not Zoom Drain. I always say it's not Wingman, it's Tom Mirabella. Like at the end of the day, I could put my company name behind it, but again, it's my integrity, it's my talk. I told you when I first met you, if we needed a lease, you shouldn't be my tenant.
Right. I
said we'll have it as a protection for both of us, but I said if we really need to go back to the lease and either one of us hire an attorney or go to an attorney to read the lease and say what it says, we shouldn't do business together.
I agree.
So like that, but I think the world is so easy to just point fingers and throw a 1-star review up. They've lost that human connection. But I think that as time goes on, people are going to want to unplug and go back to a more analog world of like everything's obsessed over this damn phone. And again, I make my living because of that phone, so I can't say anything really bad about it. But on the other side is like, I think that we got to go back to places where people see each other. I was at the Chamber of Commerce event last night with you.
Absolutely.
And shout out to Danielle Kidney at the Brick Chamber, because she put on an event that had to have at least 50 people on a ugly Thursday night, a little mist in the air,
yeah.
And she had 50 people there. It was great to see these people and to talk to people, handshake, and it's just a different world than just going everything to the computer. And I think when you look at those relationships, those people in that room are going to be the Zoom Drain clients, and they're going to be the ones that refer you to.
Absolutely.
And they're not going to be the ones that nickel and dime you over the price.
Right, and our price is based on what it costs us to do business. It's not arbitrary. This is what it costs us to roll our trucks, pay our technicians, give our technicians great benefits.
No one understands, though, the cost of rolling a truck. No one understands. They think about, that's X amount an hour, but you're not. First of all, like, they don't understand insurance, gas, a truck payment, maintenance on a truck. scheduling that truck, getting a place to park that truck, the rent for to run the business. No one thinks about those costs, and they're like, oh my God, it's $100 an hour. Like when you break that down, it's not.
Yeah, exactly. And that's part of the education process of when we get there, we evaluate what's going on. We give the customer options based on what we think could solve their problem, and we let the customer control the situation. If they want option A, B, or C, we go with that, and we get to work.
Yep.
And we do it right then and there. But that comes at a cost. We have stock on the truck. We have equipment on the truck ready to go. It's serviced, and that all comes at a cost to the company. And we make our money by charging customers for doing the work. So it's
people don't really. I sometimes I wish I could show even. And again, I'm B2B, so my guys get it more than your guys. Like your at B2C, like you guys have no clue what's going on. They're like, they work for corporate America. They work for the man, and they go in at 9, they leave at 5, and there's they get their 3 weeks vacation, and life is good. But like on the other side is they have no idea really what it costs to run a company.
Yeah.
And then when they hear on the news, oh, the unemployment tax is going up, and that means nothing. But like down to the penny what that equals.
Absolutely.
And like when you get on Wednesday when you have to approve your payroll for Friday. You're like, all right, well, here's another one. No give backs either, and you have perishable inventory.
Right.
They don't work. They're getting paid, and and you didn't have a job for them. That job is lost. And again, if they're going to take a second job next week to make up for the revenue, that's great. But you still have hard cost on that to get that revenue. Then.
Yep. Every time we roll the truck, there's hard cost, and it's part of doing business.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the challenge. I love the strategy behind figuring out how to make it work. And it is an education process with the customer and giving customer options.
Yep.
So they can do what fits within their budget, but also our price is our price, and that's how we're able to stay in business.
I understand, and I value that. And I think one thing we've talked about, and I think it's a good move, is building a recurring revenue model.
Yes. Being
like in the IT space, there's MSPs, the guys that in the old days there were IT guys that were break fixes. I have a problem, come to my computer, fix it. And now most of the bigger IT companies are called what's called an MSP, and what they do is they charge a monthly fee, and they're going on your computer and doing that Windows 11 update before you even knew that it was due, because they're staying proactive on it. And I think in your world, that proactive business too is going to help advance you guys, because then you also know that you have guaranteed revenue coming in, you have guaranteed customers that you're taking, so that again that fills the schedule too.
It does, and what we're able to do with that type of model is offer some discounts, because we can plan for we can plan the scheduling piece, we can plan the jobs around when our truck's going to be in that general area. So we're able to save a few dollars.
And everybody, it puts money back in everybody's pocket. It saves the customer money. It saves you some money. Your technician's more efficient. Everybody, it's a win for you guys.
Right, and we pass it right along to the customers.
That's great.
Because again, our pricing is based on what it costs us to do business.
Yep.
If it costs us a little less, then your price is a little less. If it costs us a little bit more, then we have to adjust the price for that.
I think that's a good model. Yeah. I want to see that be successful for you guys.
Yeah, so we actually just launched that, and we're in the beginning phases of it. So hopeful our next podcast we can talk about the successes of our membership model.
And I think some guys do it. I think some guys offer it, but I don't think a lot of guys work it. And I think they don't work it, especially the home service guys, because I think when you look at home services, as you said earlier, there's multiple things you can do. And I think the HVAC new system is the winner, right? That's the $10,000 to $15,000 unit. So if you could sell a $300 or $400 service plan versus selling a $10,000, you want to sell the $10,000. But on the other side of that is, how nice is it if you had, we were throwing out numbers the other day, 300 people paying you $400 a year. It's $120,000 that is recurring, and that's going to be coming to you. But again, it's not just recurring like, hey, I just got 120 grand. It's, hey, I have 300 customers to service that I'm going to see 2 to 4 times a year.
Yeah.
I'm going to be proactive in their homes so that if they have issues with their plumbing or with this or this, I'm going to catch it before it becomes a real issue.
Right. Well, a big thing, and we just saw it with the recent weather, is pipes were exposed and were freezing.
Yeah.
Pipes were, there was leaky valves that people weren't realizing, and once the cold weather came in, they realized real quick, and that emergency could turn into a big issue, a flooded basement.
But that issue, that $400 issue could turn into so much more. Sheetrock repair, flooded basement, cabinets ruined, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Floors ruined. So like when you look at that, there's a lot more that if you proactively approach things aren't going to be a problem.
Absolutely. And then we also offer it for a business as well. So if you think of a restaurant,
Oh yeah.
you shut down a kitchen,
Oh.
they're out of business.
Yeah.
So
Every restaurant should take that plan. So do you have a commercial version of it just to
we
cover
do
yourself? Because
We
that's
do.
going to be more some nights and weekends and some emergency calls. But I mean, again, I know all these restaurants on the Jersey Shore. Like, first of all, none of them have capacity on a Friday or a Saturday night, so they can't go down.
Right.
But is anybody thinking of that contingency plan? Like when you think about, I think about some of the guys that we do work for that we know well. Like I wonder like what they think about, like if they're thinking about like what happens if that happened. Like who do we call?
I bet you they think about it after.
Oh, after the first time.
First time, and then they become a big
Yeah.
advocate for the program. But
We should do a social post on your behalf, and so that some of my restaurant guys
that'd be
are
awesome.
thinking about it, because I just think like. Again, I think after something happened, you said it with the lease. It happened to me with an insurance issue I had not too long ago, where I just assumed that it was this coverage until the problem happened, and I quickly learned that on page 37, in bullet 17, it said this. And again, I took someone's word on it that it was what it was, and it wasn't what it was, and it's a learning. And I said to Chelsea when we were dealing with it, I said, listen, this is a roadblock. This is just a bump in the road. We'll get through it. It's just
that positive attitude's huge though, because those types of hurdles throughout, they happen all day.
they happen all day, and most guys don't have that attitude. My attitude is, listen, as long as I learn something once, the second time I don't make the same mistake.
Right.
First time it's like, listen, we all make mistakes. We're all learning. And again, you didn't do some of these things. They didn't teach you this at college. They didn't teach you this at your first job. You went from in a totally different direction up to here. I was a corporate America guy. I was in the marketing department of Fortune 500 companies. You don't learn this.
Right.
You learn it on the job. Like you get here, you make an error. I don't know if I ever told you about the first print job that I did. I realized like I was designing stuff and sending it to printers, and then I was like, wait a second, let me make some deals with people I know. I can make a couple bucks in the spread, and again, if there's a problem, it's on me. Again, the customer can come to me rather than you designed this, he printed it, he said you did it, you said he did it. I said if I just take care of the transaction, I'll make a couple bucks, I'll save my customer a couple bucks, and I'll be the wingman and manage it. First print job I do, my wife calls me up and goes, Tom, you got a couple boxes here today delivered to the house. I said, oh yeah, I have a print job. It's going out tomorrow. She goes, you want me to open them up and take a look at them? She's very proactive, very supportive.
It's a good thing.
Shout out to Cindy. She goes, Tom, I think you have a problem. And now Cindy comes from a marketing background. Cindy's done a lot of marketing along the way. So I go, what's the problem? She goes, they're not folded. So I said to her, well, I go, how about this? Date night at home tonight. You, me, I'll bring in some food, and we'll watch TV and fold brochures. She goes, you're on. She did it, and we folded about 2,500 brochures. Our fingers were so raw at the end, but they got done, and we didn't miss the deadline or anything like that. But again, you learn along the way. Now, would I ever, we've never had a problem with folding a brochure. But when we gave the specs to the printer was like, oh, they want them flat. The printer probably knew I didn't want them flat, but he didn't get it ordered that way, and he said to me, here you go. So you learn the hard way on those. Yeah. But I mean, again, as long as you take every lesson as a speed bump, you're in good shape.
Yep. It's challenging at times.
It's challenging. But again, if you have I think that comes back to mindset, though.
I agree.
If you go in with that mindset, again, if you go in with that defeated mindset, fuck, what happened? I'm going to lose money. I'm going to have to fold these things. or you come in and go, all right, well, we'll fix it and we'll never make that mistake again. I think that's mindset.
Are your date nights a little different now? Or are they?
Yeah,
now you go out to dinner instead of
dinner. Date nights are a little bit better. Things have gotten a little bit better along the way. But at the beginning, you did whatever you got to do. But that's part of the hustle, and that's part. And again, it goes back to mindset. I said I'll try this for a year. If it doesn't work, I'm going back to corporate America and I'll get a sales job. I'll get a marketing job, and that's.
How many years has it been?
This is gonna be 17 in April.
Okay.
So I don't think I'm going back.
Yeah.
And if I decide that once the day comes that I get sell Wingman, I'll come work for HVAC or a home service guy like yourself, and I'll go out and sell systems all day. I'll meet Mrs. Jones, make her bring her coffee, make her feel good, and help an HVAC or home service company.
That's great.
That's I think that's I love people. I love talking to people. I love helping people. So my whole thing with why I never wanted to work for someone else is I couldn't control the outcome. Like if I said, hey, this print job looks bad, or this website, we got to do this, like I'll jump in and say, well, our team will fix it. Like not every boss is going to say that. So that's why I've always had a hard time working for somebody else.
Me too. I like the ability to
please
to take care of the end result and to make sure it meets our specifications. And there's times we don't get it right, but we have the ability to fix it.
That's if you could go back, or at least you're accountable. Like the people that ghost other people, like that's crazy to me. Like that sounds great. Like again, I don't want to be treated like I am a piece of garbage, but at the same time, if people could be respectful, like let's figure out a solution.
Right. And we're all human. We're all gonna we're real people. We're gonna make a mistake.
Exactly.
Running real businesses.
Yep. And doing our best every day.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, I love to see what you do, and I love to see the growth. I want to see you continue to be successful, and I want to see 4, 5, 6, 10 trucks in the parking lot in the back.
We're looking forward to it. Absolutely.
And I hope that each day just keeps getting better. And again, I think keep that right mindset. Like you're going to have down days. There's going to be bad months. There's going to be problems. You're dealing with pipes, and again, you can't control. Like you're going into someone's house that's 100 years old. Right. You didn't do the plumbing. You're coming in. You're fixing somebody's that had 7 other guys in before you. So like, everything's not perfect in your world. And I think though, the more that the customer understands that going in, the better the outcome on the way out.
Our most retained customers are the ones that walk through the process with us. We're gonna walk through every room, every drain, every water line, and we're gonna explain what we're looking at and what we see. Those customers stay with us for life, and it's because they understand what we're doing. They're not plumbers, but they understand.
Yeah, they understand the process.
And sometimes we'll get a call. Hey, your guy so and so told me to take a look at it, and it looks good still. Excellent. You're doing a good job.
There you
Keep
go.
it up. Call us if it's not. So that's good.
Yeah.
Getting the customer involved, showing them what we see. When we're in a main sewer line, for example, we have a camera and we record it and we show the customer this is what we're seeing. We think it's in good condition, or we think this could be a problem down the line, or this is urgent. I think you should take care of it because you could be without a sewer line, which is a huge problem.
Yep.
You can't use your bathroom, your
Yep.
tub, anything that water goes down, you can't use without a
Fair.
sewer line. So it could become a costly problem. But getting that customer involved is huge.
Yep.
So they can understand what we're doing. We're being upfront.
Yep.
We're honest. We want to make sure you know what we're seeing. And I think it's important.
That's great. So as we wrap up today, where can people find you if they want to learn more about you and what you're doing and how to get in touch with you?
Absolutely. So we are zoomdrain.com/ocean-county. That's our website, and our social media is at zoomdrain.com/ocean-county.
All right, awesome. Well, this was a great chat. I'm glad you came in, and I will see you back by the Manasquan building soon.
Sounds good. Thanks,
Great
Tom.
to see you.
Good to see you. Take care.